Happy New Year!
Well done. Well done, young Michael.
And welcome to Egg Foo. What? The first and only podcast about people eating stuff. I'm Mike Lisk.
Hello, everybody. Welcome once again to another episode of I Feel What? Young Michael, how was your New Year been?
My New Year's was quiet. I intended to sleep through it, in fact. That's how uninspired I was this year. Let's just get it over with. I thought I'd sleep through it. But of course, my neighbors are all amateur, explosive.
Oh,
Uh, they like to play with the fireworks. So I was awakened by a barrage of fireworks at midnight.
I call these people idiots.
Do you have a lot of it down by you?
No, thankfully.
No, really? No?
Didn't have any. I've been in Richmond.
Yeah.
Yeah, luckily there weren't any of that nonsense. And I keep it, I wanted to keep it clean and start off the new year because I knew you liked that, but I would normally say fucking idiots. But no, luckily none of that here. So, but just hearing you say it just makes my blood boil. So,
It's a new phenomenon. I mean, I've talked about it before. My family celebrated New Year's by banging pots.
like normal people.
Was that something you done in where you grew up in Virginia?
No, I mean, we grew up in the country, so
Mm-hmm.
go outside, bang a pot, maybe no one will hear
Right,
it.
right, yeah.
So,
It's sort of
yeah,
pointless,
and
yeah.
we weren't the Rockefellers. We didn't have pots to just bang around.
No, we used pots.
Must have been nice.
We didn't have New Year's pots. We were using pots that we ate out of all year
Now you
long.
spend New Year's Eve with the Queen of England.
So anyway, I was up all night as a result of trying to sleep through it. How about yourself? Anything? Any celebrations?
Yeah, it was nice. I'm here with my buddy, and he's got a couple of kids, and they stayed up, which makes it fun. We just played cards and watched the guys on CNN get drunk, and that was fun. And
Are they doing that again? I thought they cut that out.
no, they seem to be. Maybe they weren't as raucous, but so yeah, it was fun. We just
Uh-huh.
played cards, had some laughs. Happy New Year's, and bada bing, bada boom. That's it. So
No polar plunge?
no polo plunge. Did you do a polo plunge?
No.
I feel like we talked about that last year.
Did we? Okay.
I feel like it came up.
It's intriguing. Well, people do it. It's a thing. Coney
Are
Island.
you asking me to give you a little nudge to do it yourself?
No, I mean, I read an article that said that it's actually could be very dangerous. It's a shock to the body,
Hmm.
and it could have terrible health consequences. So I'm not encouraging people to do the polar plunge, but
Hey, Mike.
if you
First,
want to,
first, first one in the new year. Let me drop a little knowledge for you.
uh-huh.
You know what has bad health consequences?
What's that?
Life.
Yeah, that's true.
Open up the new year.
Yeah, no, hard hitting. Yeah.
Okay. But
Uh,
well, how was your season? Because I did the exact thing I knew I was going to do.
mhm.
Look forward to it all year. Gets here. Then I start to get depressed. I'm not, totally doing everything Christmas and soaking it in and being present. And then it starts to get, now it's over Christmas, and now I'm super depressed that it's all over. And I've been sick for a couple of days, and that's a no. I feel like I got snot on the top of my brain.
Lots of people are sick. One of my friends has been coughing for like a couple weeks. RSV. You've
Yeah,
been
well,
you've been
well,
following RSV
I'm not.
news.
I'm not. I don't want to say I don't care about your friend Mike, but I'm here to talk about me.
No,
I could use a
how
little
long have
sympathy.
you been coughing?
It's not coughing really.
No,
4 or 5 days. Just
that's yeah.
super snotty.
Uh,
Not bad right now. But so yeah, I've been bitching and moaning about that. My back hurt.
could be the
So
RSV.
you're really in all in on this RSV stuff, huh?
I'm spreading news. A lot of people are sick.
Oh, somebody's spreading something.
And
I think I'm mostly over it, but that's just something, adds to my depression because
now I saw some photos of you in I thought they were pajamas, but some sort of bear suit. What is the story behind that?
first of all, I believe I speak for anyone who's known me for more than 10 minutes. I can't believe it took this long for me to buy my own bear suit.
So you
Uh,
bought this. You bought
my
this thing.
I wish, I've been surrounded by kids for 2 weeks.
Uh-huh.
I wish I could blame it on kids,
Right, right.
but my goddaughter was wearing this. It's called a onesie, but it's like my bear costume, but it's not a bear. It's just like a big furry fun thing. And all of a sudden I was like, oh my God, I should get one. We could be twins. And of course that quickly went to, oh, here's a bear. Boom. Next day, I was very pleased. That is easily the happiest, the best thing I've done in years.
Was there a
And
big reveal? I mean, did you have everybody seated, waiting for
oh,
the debut as you strolled through?
of course I waited until, you just stroll through like, no big thing. Oh, I can't
Well,
believe it fit.
how much did that set you back on Amazon? I'm assuming you found this thing.
I think it was like 30 or $40. I don't think it was more than like $40.
Okay, that's not too crazy.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that was a super highlight. I was just dying. My goddaughter loved it.
Mhm.
I loved it. So it was a lot of fun. So.
Yeah, my Christmas, it's usually I go over to my brother's. It's for the last 20 some odd years. It's been my niece and nephew have been the center of the Christmas celebration, but they're in college, so it's a whole
Oh
different.
yeah.
It's a so enjoy it while you've got it because it doesn't last forever.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, they're in college, and
That's been a theme I've been banging on. All these kids, they're all, a couple of my first tier are all getting ready to go to college.
uh,
I got a couple in junior high or whatever. And yeah, that's depressing me too. Like I had this empire of minions for years, and they
yeah.
climb on you like they don't even notice you're the monkey bars, they're just climbing on you and playing, and now, well, it won't be long before we look back like, oh, what.
I feel like this is like the first year of entering the wasteland
Yeah,
of all
yeah,
adult Christmas. I
yeah.
mean,
I
yeah,
don't like
it
that.
it takes the air out of it.
Yeah, yeah. It is better when there's young kids.
Yeah.
So yeah, that does. Yeah, I need to cheer up. Other than the bear suit. Yeah, I've been thinking about that the whole time too. It's like, oh, this isn't gonna last too much longer.
But
But
it was nice. I mean, I stuffed my face, had to sit down and just sort of let it settle.
mhm.
Could hardly eat any cookies. I think I had two.
Any highlights? Any food highlights?
Well, they usually get a bunch of trays from a local place. So they get chicken parm, they get
Ooh.
ziti, meatballs.
Whoa.
So yeah, it was
Is
good
that a
stuff.
Jersey thing? Like basically getting a big Italian meal? Is that a Jersey thing?
Well, we always actually my mother used to make lasagna. I mean, it was like we loved it.
Ooh.
Yeah, we only did the turkey at Thanksgiving, and then she would do either a tray of ziti with meat
Hmm.
sauce, or she was really feeling ambitious. She'd do the ziti, I mean the lasagna. I mean, we
Hmm.
loved it, and then you'd have it for a couple days, and it got even better
Yeah.
with
No
the
kidding.
when you heat it up later.
Wow.
But yeah, those were some good memories.
That's cool.
But
Hmm.
I saw these things, and I think I'm like a observant guy that I would have picked up on this,
Hmm.
but it seems like this is the first year I noticed this Italian box cake. Are you familiar with this?
Hmm.
It's I wrote it down here.
Sounds very Jersey.
It's well, you would think. I mean, there's lots of Italians in New Jersey,
People.
and you would think that I would have observed this before. But then all of a sudden, now I'm seeing this thing everywhere. So it went from I never noticed this thing.
Hmm.
It's called the Pandoro Classico cake. It's an Italian Christmas cake. Comes in a box. It's sort of a tall cake. I guess it was based. It's got like eight points to the cake. It was from Verona in Italy. I guess
Mhm.
there's a mountain range there, and it's supposed to symbolize the mountains. And from what I can tell, it looks like well, they describe it as like a French brioche, but I don't know what the hell a French brioche is like. Do you know what that is?
I was nodding my head as if I did, but
And
I
you've
have
been to
no clue.
France. You've been
Yeah,
to
right.
France. You don't know what a French brioche
I
is.
know what a brioche bun is.
But
I should have
anyway,
brioche
they
bun.
described it as a golden bread, and I'm
Mhm.
thinking, well, it almost looks like a pound cake. Um, but I wasn't curious enough to buy one and try it out.
Mhm.
But have you ever seen this or heard of this? No?
Mhm.
Okay.
I know what a brioche bun is. Like sometimes it's a option for a burger. But that sounds a little fancier. Like it's got if it has a cake texture to it, might
Well,
be
maybe
different.
it's soft. I think I even saw one description that some of them have a cream filling. I
Mm.
think there may be different versions of it. But it was like, am I just a guy who walks through life and has never noticed this for 62 years of my life?
Mike,
But then I was
Mike.
seeing it everywhere. It was at like pizza places I go to. I'm
I
like,
told you
really?
I was 35 before somebody told me about ice cream cake. We all walk alone in this life, Mike.
Yeah, true, true, true.
Well, are there any pictures of this you can send around? Or?
No, you can Google it and see for
Oh,
yourself. But yeah, no, I was doing a little research before the show. People have accused us, or one guy in particular on Apple
you're still talking about that guy?
Apple iTunes, who,
Jesus,
who accuses of no preparation,
that's like
no research before a
a
show.
year ago.
They're
That
just
idiot
winging it.
hasn't been back, I'm sure. Come
No,
on, you're Mike List,
he's
damn it.
long gone. He's long gone. Hey, speaking of our fans, I want to apologize for you chastising you for mispronouncing Andrea. I called her Andrea. You called her Andrea. Is that what you call?
Andrea?
Remember the person who wanted the birthday wish?
Oh, right, for her boyfriend.
Right.
So, hold on, hold on. Did we just try to do something nice for somebody and now I'm going to get yelled at
No,
for
no,
saying her name wrong?
no. She reached out to me and
Okay.
she said she was shocked when you pronounced it correctly because everybody pronounces it the way I said it, but you got it right. And I guess
What's that?
people
What's that?
were saying that this is because this was a character on 90210. That's how she pronounced the name. It wasn't.
That makes sense.
It was. It wasn't Andrea. It was Andrea or whatever.
I mean, I have put in many, many hours. 90210.
Uh,
Where was all
see,
this? I didn't see this.
no, this was privately. I get messages.
Excuse me.
I get messages. One on one.
None of my business. Look at me getting one right.
Yeah. No. So I wanted to get to that early.
And I wish I could pretend to be embarrassed that I probably did get that from 90210, but anyone listening probably knows better than that. So I'll just.
Hey, speaking of 90210, what's with
Don't
your
you tease
boy?
me, Mike Lisk.
What's with your boy Steve?
Oh,
Fighting with some sort of mini bike gang on Hollywood Boulevard. Did you see that video?
I don't know if I saw the beginning, but I saw when he was out like scrapping with those guys.
Like,
I thought he did okay considering he's
no,
like
he did all right.
he
It
was
was
old.
like
He was
5 to
old back when he was doing 90210.
he was 5 to 1.
Yeah.
And they all had motorcycle helmets on.
Had
So,
helmets on.
so, so he was at a distinct disadvantage. He's flailing away, but he's hitting helmets.
He came out. He seemed to come out okay.
Yeah, no, he apparently did. His $100,000 Mercedes apparently received some damage, but
Who are these losers? Like you have 5 motorcycle guys with their helmets on, and you can't handle the old guy from 90210.
yeah. And I mean, you're saying motorcycles. They're hardly motorcycles. I mean, they look like converted lawnmowers. Some of them. I mean, they barely
Vespas or
they barely qualified as scooters or mini bikes.
wow.
But
I was surprised at that. Yeah.
yeah, no.
He says I saw a statement. He said he's okay.
Yeah.
I immediately went to the wonderful Beverly Hills 90210 channel on Pluto TV. That is Pluto TV, which is amazing. Has
Uh-huh.
its own channel.
Did they do a
That made me
Steve
feel better.
tribute?
Steve's all right. Steve's okay. But yeah, who are those losers?
I don't know. I don't
It's
know.
like the idiot. It's like the Democrat who lost to George Santos. I mean, nobody's asking who was that guy. Who's the guy that lost to him?
I think that guy getting drummed out of Congress may be like the biggest move that guy ever had. Now he's like a evil villain on social media.
Yeah, now I'm sure he's just cashing checks.
He's going to be on every reality show imaginable. You know that.
Yeah,
He's a hot property all of a sudden.
yeah, but
So
nobody else except me, because I'm brilliant, has asked who was the idiot that lost to him. Like, who's this Democrat that couldn't, beat this guy?
I think even worse was the newspapers that couldn't even uncover half his lies. But anyway, it proved it proved out lying will get you someplace. His lies have made
Yeah,
him a
I mean,
celebrity.
and I don't want to. I know you don't want to get things political. We'll move
Yeah.
on. But what is he, the 912th most dangerous Republican out there?
Don't know.
Maybe,
I
but they
don't
act
know.
like, ooh,
He's
but
he's a sensation now,
yeah,
an
cash the
internet
check.
sensation,
Hey,
which
but hey, Steve's okay. That's
he's it's okay.
I
So
didn't think you'd bring it. I didn't think that'd be something you'd bring up.
no, 90210 news definitely will always be part of the show.
Always surprising, Mike. That's you.
Did you do you look at any of these at the end of the year, there's all these best of lists, best music of the year. Obama has made it a tradition now.
Obama does his thing.
He puts out his
Obama stuff.
books and
I just
movies.
scan for my name whenever he does his stuff.
Hmm.
It's funny now that you mention it. I feel like I didn't get as wrapped up in all those lists like I normally would at the end of the year. Am I dreaming or?
I don't know. I mean, there's so many now. I
Yeah,
looked
that's
at a
true.
few, and I don't know if it's just me. It seemed like years ago there would be like sort of a consensus
Mhm,
that so let's pick music. You
mhm.
know, there'd be like 30 or 40 records on like everybody's list, and it's like, okay, these were the best albums. But
Mhm.
now everything's so fragmented that I don't know. You're lucky if you see 2 or 3 albums on 4 or 5 lists.
Yeah. Same thing with TV
Everybody's
shows. There's so many TV shows now. Like I'll see a top 10 of the year, and if I've seen one, I'm like, oh,
uh
that. Same thing with music.
yeah. Did you have a best TV show of the year, or
Ooh.
was it the first year for I know you're a big fan of Abbott Elementary.
But that was that was the second season this
Oh, that's
year.
the second season.
Oh, you want a great first year?
Well, no, I mean, what was your favorite show of the year? It could be a second season. It doesn't matter.
Jeez. What We Do in the Shadows was amazing. That's finishing up next year.
Uh-huh.
You totally froze me, Mike.
Yeah, I guess I should have briefed you before, but
Should have mentioned this. Do you have any?
well, television shows, I'm not really a big television guy. I'm watching The Curse now, which is wow, that's some show. I don't know what to say about that show.
What's that?
It's the Ben Safdie and
Oh, Nathan Fielder?
Nathan Fielder.
Yeah, I don't
Uh,
know. He scares me. I don't know. I can't get into him.
well,
I admire his he's original.
yeah, it is
I
original,
admire that.
but he seems. I think it's a comedy about anxiety, and
Mhm.
this whole show, every scene is just full of sort of anxiety. I mean, it's tense.
Yeah.
It's kind of heavy, and you don't know where it's going because so many things are going at once. Surprise! It's lots of surprises, some shocks.
Yeah.
You have to see it. I'm not going
Do you
to
like
go.
it, or you just gotta?
Well, I'll say it's original. I mean, it reminds me a little bit. I don't know if it's conscious or not, but it's got a little bit of a David Lynch vibe.
Mhm.
You know, like the scenes get so weird that you're like, "Oh, what's going to happen next? You don't know."
Yeah.
So you know, I think that's good. I like that it's going for something different. Um,
All I did all year was watch TV, and now I can't think of a simple new show. I'll
well, I
think of it.
saw. How about this one? I mean, your boy Gary Goldman
Yeah.
has a new
Great
special
special.
on
Did you watch it?
HBO. Yeah, I did. Did you watch
Oh, I
it?
guess it's been 2 weeks. I think I saw it right before I came down for Christmas.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
Yeah, I liked it. There were a couple stories in particular. I mean, he started talking about going to a school of dentistry
Yeah.
when he was a kid, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh boy, okay, I know that feeling."
Yeah.
I don't know if I ever told you this story. I repeat myself. This is one of my golden nuggets.
I repeat myself all the time.
When I was in the second grade, a kid shoved me from behind.
Mike, we've heard this shit before. Move on. Okay.
I went flying into the door frame actually, and chipped a tooth.
Ooh.
So now I got like a big chipped tooth right in front, one of my front teeth.
Never
And
noticed it, bro.
well, no, I took care of it by the time I met you.
Oh,
But anyway,
because you
so
met me?
what's that?
Because you met me, you
No,
took care.
no, not
Oh,
because I met you. So anyway, I had this chipped tooth, and then my aunt was living in Jersey City at the time, and there's a school of dentistry there, and she passed the word on to my mother that, hey, maybe you want to get some free dentistry. you know,
okay.
you with Mike and his chipped tooth, we can.
Like homemade mayonnaise. No thanks.
Yeah, it's like, I'm pretty sure my father had insurance, or, maybe he didn't. I don't know. It wasn't like something I discussed with him when I was in the third grade.
Right.
But anyway, so it was decided that I'm going to go to the School of Dentistry to have this chipped tooth taken care of.
Mhm.
Now, if you have a cap done, it's like 2 visits to the dentist. But for
Mhm.
whatever reason, back then, we're talking like the early 70s, early to mid 70s.
Mhm.
And I must have gone to this place at least 4 or 5 times,
Yowza.
and they didn't even give me a cap. They just, I don't know what you call it.
But this is a school, right? So
Yeah, but it's
they're
part of the
learning to
it's
do it.
part of a hospital up there, so
Right.
it's,
It's free,
it's
but
yeah,
yeah, it's gonna take a while.
it's free, and these are I guess dentists, up and coming dentists, so they have to practice.
Yeah.
And we're their guinea pigs.
Wow. Yeesh.
So after many weeks, and they would give me the injection with the Novocaine, they would fasten this dental dam thing.
Mhm.
That was painful, just them putting this thing on my mouth with these like bolts. It's like it felt like it was being bolted in.
Frank and Mike.
And then after weeks of doing this, they finally put the little, I don't, yeah, it wasn't like a full cap. It was just like to fill the space of the chipped tooth.
Mhm.
And then they finish with it, and now I've got a gray tooth. And I'll never forget what the guy said
Trying to
when.
look at it, like, trying to
No, it's been replaced, a couple times actually, but but now I had this gray, partially gray tooth, and I had this gray tooth from, we're talking like third grade. I didn't get it fixed until I was a sophomore in high school.
Mm.
So all all my school pictures in
Snaggletooth.
that period, it's like my mouth doesn't open. I don't want to reveal the gray tooth.
Did they call you Snaggletooth?
No,
That's a
the
great
weird
nickname.
the weird thing is I didn't really get picked on about it. I guess I kept my lip down enough that people didn't pick up on it. The bullies didn't see it. I don't know.
Well, that's Jersey kids in the '70s, right?
But
Just very
oh yeah, no,
legally.
I was picked on for other things. But yeah, they missed out on that one. I don't know why. I guess like I said, I I kept my lips together most of the
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
I
That's
learned not to smile, but yeah. So when he's talking about the School of Dentistry, I had that, a little flashback. I'm like, okay, yeah, I can relate to that.
yeah.
Um,
I thought it was great. I thought he did a great way of talking about income inequality without
mhm,
actually making it political.
yeah,
I thought that stuff was great. His Chipotle stuff, that's an instant classic.
yeah.
Yeah,
No,
corn, corn.
I had to think. I don't think I'm a pointer. I don't think I point at the
You know
things.
what? I do.
Maybe do you?
I
Well, it's
do.
something you don't even think about.
Yeah, I don't mean it. Like I'm not like, hey, you're an idiot. You don't know what a corn is. I just can't
No.
help, you know.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think if I do it, I don't think it's to put them down. It's just kind of like I
Yeah.
want that one. You're just sort of sorting it out.
But I'm the worst because I do it like if I'm ordering a hamburger. Listen to me, cheese. Like I'm a health nut. Cheeseburger. I'll literally hold up the menu and point. I'll have
Uh-huh.
the cheeseburger. Like the waitress is gonna be like, wait, what?
What?
So of course when I'm at Chipotle, oh the corn. Next time I'm there, I'll try not to. Thanks to Gary
Hmm.
Goldman. But I gotta say, I thought his, and I'm not saying this just because we were lucky enough to meet them.
Hmm.
Him and Sarah Silverman's specials, I think were the two best of the year by far.
She has a
Uh,
new one out, or well, I saw one.
it was
Yeah,
like 6 months ago.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I saw that. Yeah, that was good.
Um, because like a lot of my war horses this year kind of let me down. Like
Hmm.
Bill Burr, I love Bill Burr, but it's the same thing. It's like him talking about for an hour about how angry he is, his ragish. Just it's so um aware. The John Mulaney thing we talked about ad nauseum. It's like how I don't know.
I think I'm
Uh,
getting to the point where I'm not like a big fan of stand up. I hate to say it, but
I just feel
it's.
like all my guys hit a wall. Like even Jim Gaffigan, who I've loved for years, all of a sudden
Hmm.
this year, everything he said, it's like, eh, mm, same shit. I don't know what possessed me. I watched like 20 minutes of the Ricky Gervais,
Uh-huh.
and that's just total fucking typical garbage.
Hmm.
Him doing his whole, I'm gonna say something edgy, oh,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
and then he'll say, he does that fucking nonsense.
yeah. It's
Um,
yeah, it's sort of becoming routine, and yeah.
and I guess I'll see the Chappelle one, but I have a
Mhm.
feeling it's gonna be the same as the last three or four, where it's like a
No,
lot of time.
I did see the Chappelle one, and at one point he describes himself as a lazy comedian, and I'm thinking, well, yeah, listening to this routine, I have to agree because I mean, he just drags stuff out too long. He just like beats these stories to death, and it's not like you're laughing through the stories, and
Yeah,
it's just like he drags it out. So I mean, he talked about being attacked by that guy. That
yeah.
lasted for about 20 minutes. It's like, okay,
I mean,
it's a big deal, people are interested, but 20 minutes, it's like, oh, okay.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, he's one of the all timers, but then, and I don't know if I'm too sensitive to him being stuck on the whole trans thing ever
Hmm.
since when I saw him in 2017 or 18.
Yeah,
But
well, that's the way
I
he's
know,
going to shock.
I know we're
I mean,
gonna get a lot of
comedians like to
that.
shock, right? So they're shocking. They're trying to
Yeah,
shock. I
yeah.
mean, the
He's
shock comedian is that's been going on a long time.
yeah. So
So it's
it's like,
part of comedy now. Let's see who we can shock, and these guys are so big that their careers are beyond really having repercussions. So you
which
know,
is fine. You say what he wants, but the
hmm
last couple of I just haven't been really funny, and I don't know if I'm
yeah.
just
Oh no, I
distracted.
don't laugh. I don't laugh. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like,
And again, he's one of the all time greats.
hmm
Uh, and I hate it when people do that when they decide they don't like a comedian's political beliefs. They're
hmm
like, oh, you know what? He's just not funny anymore. As if they
hmm
were funny doing it, they'd like it.
right.
But it's just, yeah, I don't know. It's just the same old shit, which is I think a
Hmm.
lot of these guys have been doing. Sebastian Maniscalco, I like him.
Yeah,
He
you
had,
like him?
he had his big special, and it's exact same. It's
How
exact
long
same.
did he talk about his dad? I mean, that's
Uh,
his whole thing, right? He talks
I mean,
about his dad.
the whole thing. It's the whole thing. It's like yeah, kids today suck. Everything's
Hmm.
bad.
Hmm.
You know, uh, it's funny, it's funny, but then all of a sudden now it's just like, all right, it's the same old thing. Like,
Yeah,
all right, so
Yeah.
Maybe I need to find some other comedians. I mean, there's 9 zillion out there,
Well, you
but
went
so
to
I
that
was
one
so happy.
guy.
I was
eh,
so happy when I don't you don't mind if I call him Gary.
Yeah.
When Gary special popped, because I
Uh-huh.
love him so much that I'm gonna give, I know I'm gonna want to like it.
Hmm.
And I was so happy. It was so great. I watched it twice.
Hmm. Who was that guy you went to see live? I didn't really know his name, and you went with
Anthony Jeselnik. Uh,
say it again.
Anthony Jeselnik.
Yeah, that guy.
Okay, he was fantastic too.
Hmm.
Waddy and I, Waddy, our friend Will calls him the most handsome man in the
Yeah, I
world.
know, Dave. Uh-huh.
Uh, we went and saw him, and he was
Uh-huh.
fantastic. He was
Uh-huh.
great.
Yeah.
I should put that up, even though it wasn't a special. I'll put that up with Gary and Sarah Silverman. So
Yeah, I didn't know him at all. And then I looked at some of his videos, and yeah, he's got his own little thing. Yeah.
he's great, and he went out. He was there for I guess it's an hour and a half show, and just doing some stuff. Even as a fan, I
Uh-huh.
was like, ooh, because he gets dark. And then at the end, he's like, all right, I want to introduce everybody to my parents. His parents stand up. I'm like, he was saying all this with his parents in there.
He didn't
But
seem that I wouldn't say, what are you saying? He's dirty, or
he's got some dark stuff, like
uh-huh.
dead babies, pedophiles. Like
Yeah.
that's his thing. But he's
Yeah.
so brilliant, because if you know him enough, you know when the turn is coming, and you try to guess what it's going to be, and you never guess it. He's
Yeah,
fantastic.
somebody they describe what he does. I can't think of the description. Where yeah, you turn it at the end, like
Yeah,
there's a build up, and then you give the surprise sort of turn at the end.
yeah. Like once you
Uh
get to know him, you kind of know the rhythm,
yeah,
and I try to guess, and
right.
I've gotten one right. I
Uh-huh.
can't even remember what it was, and I was so pleased with myself. So I'm like 1 for 1,000.
Uh-huh.
He's brilliant. I love him. So
Yeah, I gotta, I would say that my he just does those dumb little videos on Instagram, but Andrew Dice Clay, I mean, I love those videos.
what videos? I led the Dysonissance last year, bro.
You don't follow him on Instagram?
No, shit,
He does these man in the street things. He just walks around filming him
Mike.
walking around in the street. Today there was one, he was at the gym. And nobody knows him. That's what's so great about them. He approaches people, and he'll say, you want a picture? And then he's like this, the international famous face.
Follow. That
There
is
you
that.
go. Okay. All right. Now you'll have some laughs for 2024. But yeah, no, I love, he just does these little snippets, and they're hilarious. And it just shows you how like rude people are in New York. I think a lot of people, because he's kind of acting dumb.
Mhm.
So I think some people actually, I think, are just like running away from him, almost like, oh, here's a
Yeah.
mentally handicapped guy. And it just shows you how rude people are in New York. So there's that angle to it. But
I don't think it's specific to New York.
I don't
But
know. I don't know.
I've been everywhere, Mike. Assholes are there's nice people everywhere, and there's assholes
Uh-huh.
everywhere. I've been in the
No, I
north,
think
I've been in the south.
I
Um,
think in New York, people put on their blinders, and like even if you say a word to somebody, they're shocked. That
mhm,
was my experience in New York. Just
yeah,
seems like everybody's like this. I'm going from A to B. Do
because there's
not
too much.
do not say a word. Don't surprise me in my mission to get to point B. God forbid, somebody ask you a question, directions, or anything like that. I guess now that we have phones, it's like, why is this person asking me for directions? He's got a phone.
I mean,
He's all the answers in the world are in that phone.
you
Why
can't
why
you can't
approach
have
me and ask a question?
you can't have your head on a swivel at all times, looking at everything. You gotta.
No, I'm not saying you walk around like some fool, but
Mhm.
just be, open to the experience that like somebody, a stranger, might approach and ask you a question.
Yeah. Can I tell you a heartwarming story?
Uh-huh. Yeah. Okay.
Heartwarming story for the new year, Mike.
Yeah. Go ahead.
About that cold heart.
Yeah.
When I moved to New York City 26 years ago this week, I was beating the streets with my little feet, looking for a job because the job I thought was waiting for me had disappeared. That's another story for another day. But one day I was scrambling to get this job interview somewhere in like the Upper West Side or something, and I realized I was going to be late, and I'm sweating, and I'm like kind of lost, and I'm like, I got to get to a payphone. That tells you when this was, to call the place and tell them I'm going to be a little late. And of course, I don't have a quarter, and I'm panicking. I'm looking around, and I'm like, the farm boy coming up from the country in me said, everyone's going to yell at me if I try to ask. All right, some guy's walking up. He's kind of a, I don't want to say cartoonish, but he's like Mr. Wall Street, got a suit on, and I go and I grab my, I'm really sorry. I'm sorry to bother you, but I'm late. This shabby. I told him, gave him a 5-second sob story. Reached in his pocket, said, "Don't worry about it, buddy. I've been there." Hands me a quarter.
Yeah.
That's New York, buddy.
I'm not
I
saying
go like this,
everybody.
like he flipped it to me, buddy.
I'm not saying everybody's rude. I'm not
Yeah.
saying everybody's rude.
But I'm just giving. I'm giving.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's a good story. I like that story.
Yeah.
I wish I heard more of those, but
I'll tell it to you again.
no, it's not necessary.
But why were you talking about walking around New York?
I don't know. we got into New York somehow. But anyway.
Huh.
Yeah.
I probably had something brilliant to say, but
so did you have like a best musical some of these best of lists? I'm seeing like artists I didn't even know put out a record last year. Did you know that
I usually
Ian
look
Hunter?
for those. Who?
Ian Hunter put out an album last year.
He's alive?
He's not only is he alive,
huh.
He put out a record. I listened to it. It's okay. His voice is still there.
Well,
guess what? Guess what label it's on? You never guess. Sun Records. Sun Records.
Really?
Sun Records. I'm like, what?
Ian
Hunter put out a new album on Sun Records last year. I'm like, what? I didn't know Sun Records was still a going thing.
What was the previous record that came out in Sun Records?
I don't know. That's a good question.
All right, Mama.
Jerry Lee Lewis.
Wow. I guess if you're Ian Hunter, you can call up Sun Records and say, "Let's put out a record, and we'll slap your name on it."
Yeah.
A lot of big. Your beloved Rolling Stones put out a record.
Yeah, that record, for like I said, late period Stones, it's unexpectedly better than what you expected. So, but I try not to buy so many records now. I'm becoming a streaming guy.
Oh.
So this is
record of the year?
Record of the year.
You know what?
It's it does sound a lot better. I got to agree.
I thought it for so long, and then riding home on the train one night, I hit the wrong version of Bastards of Young, and I was like, this does sound better.
Did you get it yet?
No,
not yet.
I haven't bought it.
And then I did something. Incredible. I did something a little crazy. I mean, I'm not an audiophile by any stretch of the imagination. You have to be pretty well off financially to be one of those guys. But I watch all these audiophiles on YouTube, and they were all gushing about a favorite record of mine. And it's what they call a UHQR analog production. And so these are pressed.
What? Is that the name of the band?
You don't even recognize the artwork.
I can't really see it. It's all glare.
Oh, sorry.
Steely Dan.
Yeah.
Man. All right, I gotta say, when you said the thing about once you saw whatever, that's all you see. There's a guy at work. Hey, Chris, if you're listening, he's not listening. Great guy. We talk about music. He's got great taste, but he loves Steely Dan. And I don't know how it happens, but for some reason now my Twitter feed Lot of Steely Dan.
Okay.
And now you're whipping out the Steely Dan. I'm starting to wonder what the hell is going on with Steely Dan.
Anyway, they put out these audiophile productions. They're very expensive. I'm not gonna, this is probably gonna be the only one I ever buy because I do like the album and I wanted to hear the best quality. All these guys were gushing about it.
How good can it be? What did they do? Like, don't you
Well,
also have to have the best stereo equipment? Like,
well, they remastered it.
yeah.
They it's a single album, and instead of being, front A and B, it's actually two 45 RPM albums. So there's actually one side of it that only has one song on it.
We call
Uh,
those fat grooves.
so, so it's the Fat Grooves. So I
Thank you.
went in with like kind of low expectations, but I was just curious. Let's see what this is all about. And I have to say, it was impressive. I was like, I don't have like an outrageous stereo system to play it on, but it actually made what I have sound pretty good. And I'm like, okay, all right.
How much
Well,
crazier? How much more expensive was it than the normal record? Like why don't
it's
all bands start doing that?
because it's very expensive.
Yeah, but like, why wouldn't like Elton John do it or something? Like, how much
Uh,
more expensive was it? You can tell us.
yeah, I don't want to discuss
Oh,
it. I
I guess
treated
I
my,
should be excited to run back and get that check that's been waiting for me for 2 weeks at my
yeah.
apartment.
You haven't gotten a check yet?
Funny how it. I guess it showed up the minute I left. Left town.
Uh-huh.
Did you talk to my lobby guy? Hey, just keep it holding back.
Yeah. Hold it for another 2 weeks.
I guess it's been sitting there for 2 weeks. But I do want the audience to know that allegedly there is a egg for what check waiting for me.
It's
And it
there.
sounds
It's
like
there.
it was so grossly egregious. Mike doesn't even want to talk money, my numbers.
Well, you can use that check to get the Tim reissue.
That's it.
You'll have a few bucks left over. But
Yeah, I got that to look forward to.
anyway, so that was a new experience, and yeah, I'm not going to be doing this probably ever again. I just wanted to see what it was all about.
Would you
Uh,
say that Tim re-release is your record of the year? Or?
I listen to it the most, and
Yeah.
I even had a guy. I'll play it up at my local establishment on the jukebox, and there's a guy. He's a young guy, and we have like a little rapport going now. He's a waiter there, and he seems to know about some of the older music and stuff. And yeah, I was playing a song from the album. He's like, "Oh, is this the Replacements?" So he knew the Replacements, and then I gave him the whole story about Tim. He seemed interested. Um, but
You
I like when the young people are open to older music. It's not all just what's happening
yeah.
now.
Can you imagine 100 years ago when we fell in love with the Replacements that in the year 2023 that album would be the buzz for months? Like, you wouldn't have
Well,
believed it.
yeah, I mean it shows that fans grow old with the music and they have a fond memory of it. So there's still an audience for it. It's a dwindling audience. We're all getting old. But so I mean that's I guess the point of all these anniversary reissues and stuff, which are a little
Yeah.
out of control, I think. It's like
I mean,
can we
it is
can we
constant,
can
but
we keep it to like the round figures like 20, 50,
yeah.
these 30 and then 40,
Did you
35.
get?
It's
Yeah,
like
it is kind of
it's
32. I'll probably re-release one of my records the 26th anniversary just to be, squeeze a couple more shekels out.
yeah.
Did you get your Spotify year of list?
Yeah, I think you commented on that. It was it was the usual suspects, but also Sir Mix-a-Lot was in my top 5 because I do the Rubenesque show.
Yeah, there were a
And,
couple of you.
and
Should we go through our top tens?
oh, I don't have it handy.
Should we go through mine?
Yeah, why not?
Number 10, Dead End Street, The Kinks.
Uh,
Number 9, Holy Mountain, the Noel Gallagher song.
oh, these are songs. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't even remember. Yeah, I had some interesting songs. I had some like R&B songs on there.
yeah. I love that song. I think it was on one of my playlists, and I was obsessed with it for a little bit. Here's a surprise. Born in the '70s by Ed Harcourt.
Huh.
Have you heard that?
I mean, I had like one Ed Harcourt CD. I kind of liked it, but I didn't keep going with him. Is that a
I
recent
never
one or an
heard of
old?
him. This one song popped up. The beginning of it was incredible, but then he blows it. He didn't understand what the hook should have been, but I couldn't stop listening to it. So now it's in my top 10.
Uh,
Number 8, Little Plastic Castles, Annie DeFranco.
mhm.
Another
It's kind
Kinks
of a
song,
surprise.
Long Way Home. What do you mean long? What do you mean surprise?
Annie DeFranco. I would never have guessed you're an
Well,
Annie DeFranco fan.
I have a connection in that one of the first weeks I moved to Brooklyn, I was staying at Will's house, and it was like Hard Rock Cafe or something. Came on VH1 back when they played music, and I'd never heard of her. I had heard of her, but never heard her.
Hmm.
Came on to play that, and I've loved it ever since. So,
Oh, okay.
A Long Way from Home, the Kinks song. Good Times by the Easy Beats.
Hmm.
Here's one. I'm sorry.
No, the Easy Beats is like one of your top 20.
No, I don't know enough about them.
No.
I haven't done a deep dive on them. The few songs I know I love, but I
Hmm.
wouldn't say I know enough to really. And then number 4, Shake It Till It's Sore, Dan Baird and the Homemade Sin. I mean, I like Dan Baird, but I got this on a mix from Waddy like 6 weeks ago,
Uh-huh.
and somehow it's on my top number 4.
Uh-huh.
I'm just
Yeah.
calling. I don't want to call bullshit, but I'm calling a little. And it's a great song. But do you know that
Yeah.
one?
Hmm.
Grant Hart, Now That You Know Me, number 3, Super Slice.
Hmm.
And a song that I would have guessed would be number 1, but it's number 2. Can't Explain, the love song off their first album, which is better than Forever Changes, which everybody seems to love, which I have never fallen in love with, but I love their debut album. Do you know that song, Can't Explain?
I know the Who version.
Different song, Mike. I'll send it to you. It's incredible.
Okay. Is it on your? I saw you had some end of the year list, and I'm following that list. Is it on that list?
I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I've been obsessed with that song and that album really all year.
Okay.
I highly recommend it.
All right.
And number 1, surprise, kind of, but She Pays the Rent by the Liars. I knew the song forever, but only there was a slow version. I didn't know there was a fast version.
Hmm.
So do you know the Liars, that Boston band?
I've listened to that song because you've talked about it, I think, and I've seen it on your list.
Oh, excuse me.
Well, no, like I said, I do. I see your post on Twitter, and I'll follow up. And yeah, I didn't know that band that well. Kind of knew the name, but yeah, never checked them out.
Number 100, Soul Deep, the Box Tops.
Okay.
All right. Little insight to me.
Yeah, it was weird seeing Sir Mix-a-Lot in my top 5.
Can I guess the song?
No, it was the artist list. There wasn't a song. Yeah, there wasn't a song. It was just the artist. But I was surprised that I've listened to so many Slayer albums this year. For the price I've paid for this Rubenesque show.
Yeah.
I've listened to several Slayer. I was really shocked that Slayer didn't make it onto the list, but
I forgot what my artist list is, but you can probably guess it. I mean, Kings, Beatles, Ramones, Mariah. Probably Love just for that one song. But...
yeah, Love was in there. I remember seeing Love, and even I was kind of surprised by Love, and I'm like, wow, okay, I didn't know he was a Love fan.
Well, I wasn't like for 100 years. I've always heard "Forever Changes" is one of the greatest classic rock. You gotta. Yeah. And I was listening, like, all right, Then I stumbled into the first album, and I'm like, wait, this one's incredible.
Yeah.
We are always talking about this one.
Yeah, Forever Changes is more psychedelic, but they have some great garage type songs. Yeah, they're an interesting band. I I never was, I have their stuff. I don't listen to it regularly, but yeah,
Yeah.
there's some good stuff in there.
I mean, Arthur Lee sounds like, he's probably no fun to hang around with, but
Hmm.
you know. Isn't that Sly Stone documentary coming out soon? You heard about that?
Is it a documentary or is there a book coming out? I thought there was a book coming out. Um, yeah,
Well,
I saw something was going on with, he's an interesting guy. Yeah, whatever it is, I'm going to be checking
yeah.
it out.
I I think there's a doc coming out.
Mhm.
Uh, yeah, in fact, I'm dying to see that. He is a fascinating guy. And name
Yeah,
a Sly Stone song you didn't like.
yeah. No, that
Like I don't know all their albums back to front, but like every song I've ever heard, I feel like I love.
that greatest hits album is just like one of the all timers. I mean, he's
Yeah,
just like
and a lot of
one,
that is from Stand. That's a great album.
mhm,
But
like one joyous song after another.
yeah,
So yeah, if you're ever down, just put that on, and you'll
I,
be,
I,
lifted up.
I feel like he doesn't get enough credit, or I guess he kind of got lost in the shuffle. Like, but musically, the way he had women, white people, black people,
Mhm.
men, women in his band,
Yeah,
and so such eclectic music, and it wasn't just eclectic; it was also great.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
so I've been waiting for something like this for a while. So
Hmm.
not enough to remember when it's coming out, I guess, but
Yeah.
so
Did you see any movies you like this year?
I don't think I went to the theater at all. Did you?
I saw Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
I saw the John Wick 4. Yeah, I don't go to the movie theaters very often. I mean, there's only so many movies that are interested in, and all the interesting movies, I call them movies for adults. They don't come out until December, when they're vying for Oscars. So
Hmm.
at least I can say, oh, it came out last year.
I do
Um,
want to see. Well, I talked for fucking 6 months about seeing the Oppenheimer movie.
uh-huh.
I bought it on Apple. I still haven't watched it. I do want to see the Von Erich brothers movie, the Iron Claw.
Really? I don't know. I just saw a bad review of that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I've only seen good reviews, but
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
just when I was growing up. I mean, first of all, no one gives less of a shit about wrestling than me. Period.
Uh-huh.
But when I was a kid, uh, the Saturday morning wrestling
Yeah, no, me too.
was,
Me and my brothers, we loved it.
and the Von Erich brothers were my favorite, and Kevin Von Erich was my favorite of them because he wrestled barefoot, and I
Yeah.
was always barefoot. You may know from my managing in the Williamsburg softball league.
Yeah. Yeah, you
He
used
was
to
my.
like to wiggle your toes in the grass, that's for sure.
That's right. So, and when I was a kid, I was
And
barefoot
the
all the
glass and the rocks.
whatever it took, bro. Whatever it took to get you people into the playoffs.
Did you have your tetanus shot before you would take your shoes off in that park?
Takes more than rusty nails from Brooklyn to take this little boy down, Mike. Come on
Like
now.
Jesus.
But
Oh,
I loved Kevin Von Erich was my favorite until like the day I turned 11 and realized it was fake, and then I never cared. The
now
second
what
half,
was that league? I wasn't watching those guys. That they were in a Southern League, I guess, or
I think it was WWE. I think it was just between when it was like super regional, like very local.
that's what I liked it when it was regional,
Yeah,
and
and then
we
before it got too big, I feel like I was right in that middle. It started to get big, but like I was out before Hulk Hogan, all
uh-huh.
that nonsense. So it was
Vi-
still felt kind of
mhm.
cheap originally, but I think it was a little bigger than like some of the stuff you saw, like the gyms, the
we
local
were
gyms or something.
we were watching wrestling on UHF, and
Yeah.
there were two Philadelphia stations that we could get, channel 17 and 29, and that's where Vince McMahon started. This league out
Oh,
of Northeast thing. He was like the stiffest announcer you could
yeah.
imagine. I mean, if you want to laugh, just go back to some of those old things. He would just stand there like a statue. It's like,
Jeez.
and you look at the way he is now, where he throws himself into the whole thing. It's
Oh
like
yeah.
it's night and day. But I think his father was still alive when he was doing that. He threw him this job, and but we also watched. We could get like Sunday nights, we could get Florida wrestling,
Oh,
and
with alligators? How's that?
No, but it was a different style. They seemed to like really work in a little more real wrestling, let's call it.
Yeah,
It wasn't all the theatrics outside the ring. So they kind of
yeah,
centered more on, and some of those, you have to be athletic to do that stuff. You
yes,
have to know
yeah,
how to fall and all that stuff. So,
yeah.
I mean, there's something to it. It's
That
showmanship. It's
that's
it's a
why I
show.
feel like I was right in that middle. Like they were athletic, and there were some shenanigans, but
Uh-huh.
like 10% shenanigans. And then like right after I stopped watching, it seemed to be almost all shenanigans. You know.
Well,
So,
no, in Philadelphia there was a fair amount of shenanigans, particularly when you have I think he claimed to be 600 pounds, Haystacks Calhoun.
oh,
So he would come in with the ring with the overalls and
I've heard of him. Yeah,
chewing on some hay. And
Jake
basically,
the
he would
Snake.
fall. He would fall on people. That was the extent of his athletic ability. He
Was he
would
600
fall.
pounds?
I don't know if he was really 600. He was big. He was a big guy,
Yeah,
and but not what you'd call athletic. There weren't a lot of jumping from the rope from.
yeah,
It was just
yeah.
like I said. His main goal was to get you on the ground somehow and fall on you.
Fall on you. Yeah, yeah. Whatever brings those checks.
It's tough to get them off.
But again, just like the Tim thing, if you told 11-year-old me that one day there would be a movie, because also at the time I had no idea that other people were even watching. Like I had nobody,
Oh
and
yeah,
I hadn't heard thought of the Von Erich brothers for 30 years.
right,
If you told me there would one day be a movie about them, my
right.
little
No,
brains would have just walked out of my skull and moved to another town.
and
And
yeah,
it's got the guy, it's got Zac Efron, it's got the actor from The Bear. I've seen good reviews, but
mhm.
I mean,
I saw a
wrestling.
real I saw a real bad one.
I
But
mean, but the
anyway,
story is so insane.
yeah, yeah.
It's like, geez, you couldn't make it up. You'd be
The
accused of being,
curse, right? Yeah,
yeah.
they were cursed, that family.
It's a miracle that my favorite, Kevin, is still alive. I'm
Mhm.
not saying it's because I was his favorite. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that little boy's fandom kept him alive,
You better
like his
keep him
brothers.
alive, Greg.
But so yeah, that one is like Oppenheimer. I'm gonna talk about going to see it for a couple of weeks and then not see it and then
Yeah.
buy it on Apple and then forget about it and I'll never
Mhm.
watch it. I'll talk about it like I know what the hell I'm talking about. So
Part of the appeal when we were kids, it was kind of like it felt like it was underground. For one thing, it
yeah,
was on UHF. It's like
yeah, yeah,
you had to like know that this stuff was going on, and it wasn't even on mainstream television. It was like this
yeah,
little secret thing.
yeah.
But then,
I feel like right when I got out is when it became like super
yeah,
huge
I
with the
guess
Hulk
Hulk
Hogan
Hulk
stuff.
Hogan, I guess, is the one who brought it mainstream or whatever.
He was the big one, yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel lucky I got out before that.
But yeah, I was already out a long time. I mean, it's fun when you're a kid.
Yeah.
It's a fun thing when
It's
you're a
like
kid.
Kiss.
Yeah.
You love it when you're a
Yes.
kid,
You
then
have
you
you,
grow up,
you
and you
have to
actually
grow
hear the
out.
music.
You have to grow out of this stuff. But
Yeah,
that's what's the problem is. I think all these things that you like as a kid, comic books, or, stuff, people are holding on to it for their whole life. I get it, the nostalgia of it, but I mean,
well, I
aren't you
think it's
curious about
normal.
more things? It just seems like there's like a lack of curiosity beyond a certain point that like they found their things and they're going to hold on to those things for the
I don't
rest
know.
of their
I
life.
think it's also generational. Like our age, like video games. I always thought when you turned
Yeah.
13 or whatever, you were
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
supposed to be done with video games,
Right. Yeah.
or people would make fun of you.
Right. Yeah.
But now, like I'll ask someone at work, "Hey, what are you doing this weekend?" Oh, me and buddies playing video games,
Yeah.
and my instinct will be like to throw out some sixth grade insult from the '80s. But then I'm like, well, he owns a house, he has a
No,
wife,
we're
children.
we're the old cranky guys now because we're out of the mainstream. That's mainstream.
Yeah, it's like I always talk about my parents. By the time the Beatles came over, they were too old for the Beatles. They were like 21.
Right.
But back then, in your head, once you were an adult, you were too old for rock and roll.
Hmm.
And kind of that's the way it is now with like video games, comic books, all that stuff. It's normal now if you're
Hmm.
45 and
Right. Yeah.
you're playing video games. So it's like that's why everybody goes to Marvel movies.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why they're printing billions of dollars every day.
I'm
So
I'm exposing myself to that on another podcast. I'm doing these podcasts.
how many more you got? I mean, how many can it be?
God,
9,000?
I've done 30, I think now, and I think there's
Who does them
more.
with you?
What's that?
Do you do it by yourself?
No, no. Brett Davis is my co-host, and he's a fun guy. I've always had
Is
a
there
good
one you would
rapport.
recommend above all others so far? Let's get a little promo out there.
What for Marvel movies?
Sure.
No,
No,
I've said
no, the podcast.
oh, the podcast is called Make Mike Marvel.
Okay.
Yeah. So we did a little experiment with a different co-hosts with mixed results. I'm not going to get
Me with my phone broken.
I'm not going to get into it because people are running hot and cold about it apparently. But
Oh, maybe I will listen.
let's just say the experiment, if it continued, I probably would have been phased out of my own show
Oh,
because my co-host had a different vision. He wanted to just go deep, deep, deep into the Marvel trivia, and I was
no
totally
thanks.
I was totally checked out by
Nope.
the second episode we did.
It's like Steve Jobs getting kicked out of Apple.
Yeah,
Well, am I
yeah, it would
dreaming?
have been just like that.
I don't know if you pay attention, but am I dreaming, or did one of the Marvel movies recently fail? So now they're worried that the whole Marvel thing may be kind of
Yeah, yeah, that was a big
withering.
Mrs. Marvel or something. Yeah, I don't even know what the hell the name of it is. But yeah, it kind of fizzled. It didn't do $1 billion.
Yeah. So
If
now they're
if a
panicking.
Marvel movie doesn't do $1 billion, uh-oh,
Yeah.
it's a
Panic.
failure. You know,
Yeah.
we're done. Um,
Yeah.
that's the other thing that killed movies. But my favorite movie of the year was The Holdovers.
Oh,
Alexander Payne. He's a consistently good guy. He did Sideways, and this
yeah.
also has Paul Giamatti in it. Did
Yeah,
that
you were
movie
talking about that.
Nebraska? Did you ever see that movie Nebraska?
No.
That was a good one.
Was that Will Forte? Or
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. That was a good movie.
Yeah.
Now this guy, he's a consistently good director. I think he writes stuff. I don't think he wrote this one. No, he didn't write this one. But it's adult stories. It's like, oh, okay. I'm not watching some,
Yeah.
gunfire through, the whole thing.
Yeah.
But
I can't believe I've drawn a total blank on my favorite TV shows for the year. I'm embarrassed. I'll have a list, but
we could
I
follow up
don't
on
want
that
to throw you under the bus.
one.
Could have mentioned this, but
Yeah.
now people are going to call me out and accuse me of not watching as much TV.
God forbid, right?
God forbid. But that's possible.
The human TV guide
No thanks.
came up. He couldn't think of one show that he
Couldn't
liked
think of-
this year.
I
No
mean,
HBO things. You didn't watch any HBO thing, or
I watched the second season of The Gilded Age.
you didn't get into Succession, did you?
I was too depressed after I watched a season or two of Billions, and I hit the
Yeah.
wall. And that between that and Yellowstone, I hit the wall with the whole like I have a gazillion dollars, but I'm miserable. I spend every second of every day dedicated to destroying people.
Rich people's problems, they call them.
Yeah,
The rich people's problems.
I guess
Shows.
that's why they're billionaires and I'm not. But
Yeah.
I don't think I'd be spending that much time and energy trying.
Yeah.
But hey, I hope that when they have that problem.
Yeah. So yeah, we're scraping the barrel to find things to eat on the Chinese menu. We're back on the menu. I found a couple items. We're gonna you had a hard time finding it. This week's dish.
I wish I hadn't. I got
Hot-
good news from Chow Mein.
hot and spicy chicken.
Chow Main's reign of terror is over.
Come on, it didn't look that bad. You sent me the
Are
photo.
you kidding me? I was waiting for you to that was this much goop. But it wasn't just goop, it was goop from Venus. It was steaming. I opened up, it hit me, it was like all onions.
Yeah.
Some onions and Tabasco sauce. It hit me.
Tabasco sauce.
It was like some sort of house. It reminded me of some awful soup or stew my mother made once when I was a kid, but I can't put my finger on it. It hit me with a very Proustian effect, but in a terrible way instead of a good
You
way.
haven't had a Proustian reaction in a while. I'm glad you're still capable.
I managed to eat half of a piece of chicken. This thing was so disgusting. I'm putting it below chow mein.
Wow. It
Sorry.
did not look bad on the photo you sent me.
It was like
I would
radioactive turds with hot sauce.
Now, was it hot or was it spicy when you
Yes.
bit? Yeah. Okay. Here's the thing. Yeah. Well, this is something that people need to be aware of with these Chinese takeout places that it get
Actually, I'm
the
wrong. The I don't know if the spice was super hot. The thing was super hot. I didn't get enough into it, to be honest, because I was so
okay.
repulsed. It literally hit me. I had to back away.
I always feel bad. It's like when you get something and you're just going to trash it. So what was your backup meal?
Uh, French fries. There were no chicken nuggets at this place, but I went ahead and I ordered egg foo young for tomorrow's to make myself feel better.
Yeah, no, I had a backup as well. But here's the thing. Mine wasn't no, mine was edible. You know what it was like? It was like there were big chunks of peppers, onions, celery. There was those little oddly shaped bits of squash that I now recognize at the place I go to. Um, the It wasn't quite goopish, the gravy. It was, it was like a reddish gravy. I could see evidence of the red pepper flakes in it.
Hmm.
In the menu, the dish was in red saying, "Hey, this is hot and spicy. What do you expect?" Right?
Yeah,
But here's the thing. I think a lot of these takeout, I think I've said this before, but they'd rather err on the side of not making it too hot
yeah, I know. I agree. Yeah,
than to making it mildly hot. And so even though this dish was called hot and spicy chicken, I didn't think it was that hot and spicy.
really.
Not yeah, no. I mean it hardly left a little buzz of heat at all.
I should have
Uh,
used mine to clear my sinuses out.
but it was edible. I didn't eat the whole thing. I ate about half, and I will eat the leftovers of this dish
Wow.
compared to the leftovers from Mugu Gaipan, which
Does it look like mine? I'm gonna have
I
to see
have
it.
to throw out tonight. And garbage guys are
From 2
coming.
weeks ago?
Yeah. It's turning into a terrarium in there. I mean,
Yikes.
I'm seeing the condensation, on the it does not
Mike, don't
I
let us see
don't
behind the curtain, Mike.
So
Look up
yeah,
to you.
I would compare this dish to the pepper steak and onions. It had that same feel to it a little bit. Not the same gravy, a little different. The gravy was a little different, but it was, healthy pieces of chicken and big chunks of the peppers were the dominant things in the dish. Uh, like I said, I'm gonna eat the leftovers.
I
I'll
need to
give
see a
it,
picture.
I'll never order it again,
Yeah.
but I'd give it like 5.5, 6 in there,
A 0. I
It's
was cursing you for picking this.
well, this is routine now. I mean, I'm trying to help you out here. I thought this would be simple enough. At least you'd get some nice sized pieces of chicken.
I mean,
I
maybe
yeah,
it's
I
just
don't know
the
where do you stand with hot dishes? I mean, you're against it, right? You're not really into hot food.
like spicy, you mean?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't do great with it.
Uh-huh.
I understand its appeal and I respect it.
Uh-huh.
Uh, not usually for me, but I mean, this didn't even get that far. It's just so disgusting.
Yeah,
So,
well, okay. We'll let people decide if it looks disgusting. I mean, some of the reactions to the Mugu Gaipan. I mean, everybody. There was a uniform disgust that just
yeah, that, that
just
was
the
bad.
photos of those dishes turned people off so bad.
Yeah, that was
Um,
bad.
but well, does this mean we're canceling next week's?
Well, I'm willing to say maybe it was the place. Uh,
Well, yeah,
as
we
long as
should
I get
say,
my
yeah, this dish was not available at all of my places either. It
Yeah,
just happened
I
to
heard
be
that funny.
it just happened to be on the menu at my favorite place, Howell Kitchen. Um,
Mhm.
but it's not readily
I'm
available.
willing to try it next week. It'll be at a
Okay.
different. I'll be back in DC. It'll be a different place. If you want
Yeah,
to do the
yeah. A
beef,
little heads up. We're taking a hot and spicy
yeah. Oh
path. With
God. Oh
next week
God.
is hot and spicy beef. So get ready. And ladies,
Yeah.
this is not a, beefcake floor show. It
No.
this is hot and spicy beef.
Getting sweat,
Hot and
hot, getting sweaty in here, man.
Getting hot in here.
Oh, don't take off all your clothes.
No.
I'm willing to blame it
Oh,
on the place and try another one, especially if I know, especially if I get my backup.
but this place actually had it on the menu. It wasn't like they kind of like, this guy's ordering something. Let's just throw something together.
No, no, it was
Oh,
on there,
it was on there.
but it
Okay.
took me. I was about to give up,
Uh-huh.
and it just popped up. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Hey, don't blame yourself.
I thought of you. There was an article. Yeah,
Thank
yeah, I
you,
don't
man.
know how these people do it. I mean, what goes viral on the on social media is just beyond my comprehension. Did you see the 6 million views of a guy who goes to McDonald's and orders extra crispy nuggets?
That got 6 million views.
That got 6 million views. Yeah.
What happened?
Apparently, you can order nuggets extra crispy, and apparently they're super nuggets. That this is the way. So you have to do this for next week's show.
I'll try it.
Try to go by your place.
I work near. My metro stop is near McDonald's.
Uh-huh.
I'm actually going to make a quick note of that because otherwise I'll forget. I actually want to
I
remember.
mean, I'm sure the McDonald's employees love when this stuff happens
Usually,
because
I'm going to do stuff on here and I just immediately forget them. But that one I want to do.
I actually have a McDonald's story for you.
Oh,
I mean, I try to avoid this place, but I had a bad food experience at my normal place, the local establishment. That I usually try and mix it up. They had enchiladas on the specials menu, and I don't know if I've ever had enchiladas before, but I'm open to new experiences.
that's you.
And and so I ordered the enchiladas, and I knew they sort of look like Mexican manicotti.
Uh,
That's I guess the best way for me to describe it.
yeah,
Very cheesy, sauce, sort of cylindrical,
yeah.
stuffed. This was supposed it had chicken enchiladas,
Yeah.
and I started eating this thing, and yeah, I felt like you with today's dish. It's just like,
Oh, good.
this was a mistake. And yeah, I've never really turned away food at this place. I've done it maybe once before, I think, but yeah, I just knew. I mean, I think I'll eat one of these. There were three of them. If I continued eating, I was going to make myself sick, so I didn't want to have a scene.
Yeah.
So I said to my bartender, "Hey, pack." Well, I guess he saw me making faces. He kind of read my mind. I was going to say just put it in a container and I'd throw it out at home.
What didn't you like about it? Because
Well, here's the thing. It was really salty, and
right.
they said people had ordered it earlier in the night. People liked them. But
Mhm.
when I said it was salty, they went in the back and they tasted it themselves, and they were like, "Yeah, that was salty."
Wait, these were enchiladas at a bar?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, they have a kitchen. It's a bar
I
restaurant.
can see the problem.
No, listen, it's not a pub.
Yeah.
It's a bar restaurant. Yeah, they have a whole half the building is a restaurant,
Yeah.
but you can get food at the bar. Yeah. But so that was a disaster. And then I left and I made this sort of last minute. It was pretty late. And I'm like, I'm gonna do a McDonald's run. I thought they were open
Favorite kind
20.
of run.
I thought they were open 24 hours, but I was hitting them right about closing time.
Mhm.
And what did I get? I got McNuggets, fries, and I wanted a quarter pounder with cheese, but for whatever reason, they charged me for a Big Mac, which I mean, I mean, quarter pounder with cheese and Big Mac do not sound alike. I mean, I could see if if I said quarter pounder with cheese and they gave me like a double cheeseburger, right? They both have the word cheese in it.
Yeah.
But anyway, so she hands me the bag, and this is literally, I think, the first time I never took a peek in the bag.
Let me ask you something. Did you order it through the kiosk or an app?
No, I'm not
This is
doing.
what happens when you have to deal with people. I can't remember the last time that happened to me because you do the app, the
Yeah.
kiosk.
So you're saying that, the app, it's waiting for me,
The app is waiting for you.
Yeah.
Those kind of mistakes don't happen.
So anyway, I get home and not only do I not have the quarter pounder with cheese, I don't even have the Big Mac.
You didn't even look at it the whole way home. You didn't even.
No,
You
well,
just fantasize about it. Like I'll open it.
No, you're right. You're right. I didn't look. What
Nope,
I
not
do,
picking up the fries.
what I do is get the fries. Yeah, I have fries because those things, and even the fries. Here's the thing, you got to get them super hot. I guess because it was the end of the night, I got the cold fries, so they were already cold.
Yeah.
So I knew the fries were fucked.
Yeah.
I'm like, what else can go wrong here? And of course, the nuggets were cold. Everything was cold, and the Big Mac quarter pounder with cheese was not there. Then I'm like pissed. I'm just like pissed off. I'm like, oh geez, I
If
paid
you
too
blow
much.
our McDonald's sponsorship, I'm shitting on me.
I paid too much for this garbage as it is. I don't even get the thing. So then I I had the McNuggets. I went back. I actually was like steaming so much. I
Went
go.
back?
I went back.
How long does it take to get there?
It's not far. It's a short trip. It's
Yeah.
like a mile,
Yeah.
And I go back, and of course they're closed. They're closed. So now I have the added humiliation of showing up after the fact. But
That's a lonely feeling, dog.
I did pull up to the window. They were not responding at the speaker, where you place the order. It was already dead. It's radio silence.
That's like that. Didn't you tell that story years ago about like Thanksgiving Day, you pass by some porn shop and there's some guy trying to open the door, but it was locked. Is that what the story was?
Yeah, that's a classic image. Yeah.
Well, I wonder who that bastard. I wonder how he. I wonder if he's okay these days.
I hope he's okay. Yeah.
Where is he now?
I hope he's okay.
It's one thing.
Actually, the porn store is long gone. It turned into a jiu-jitsu. It's a jiu-jitsu.
Hello, internet. I mean,
lots of slippery floors. So they had to put mats down.
I think it'd be stickier than that.
No, they had to put the mats down over the slippery floors. Actually, I knew a guy who cleaned that place up. He'd go in there. No, this is true. He went into that place. He worked at a Krauser's across the street. And I don't know, maybe the owner would come into the Krauser's and
what's a Krauser's?
The guy, a Krauser's is like a Wawa. It's like a convenience store. And he must have pitched them like, hey, you want to earn a few bucks, kid?
Sure. Get the hose.
Mop the floors at this adult bookstore in the morning.
Rubber gloves and a hose. Sure.
In the morning before you go to school.
That kid learned a lot.
But anyway, so now I'm at the window. People are ignoring me because, like, look, it's like, look, this wacko, the post closing wackos. I'm beeping the horn. I even beeped the horn. One beep, nothing insane. I gave one beep. That's sensible, right?
Like at the bathroom door.
I didn't lean on the horn and just like let it go. I didn't want to go. Hey, actually, that would have been a way for me to go violently viral. I'd be the mad guy. A lost opportunity, right?
All the times you're yelling at me,
it was a lost opportunity. So I just give one little polite beep. I got somebody's attention. They opened the thing. And when I said I didn't get the thing, they knew, they acknowledged that they screwed up. And
they give you one of these through the glass?
But they said they were closed. So come back tomorrow.
Did you?
I have not gone back yet, and I'm still debating whether it's worth it
Are you
because
gonna go back at the exact same time and hope it's the same guy so you can recognize
well,
you?
I said, yeah, what's your name? I got his name. Kyle.
Did you?
Kyle, yeah, Kyle.
Knowing what I know about working at McDonald's, he's probably already moved on.
Yeah, he'll be long gone and forgotten by the time I go back to redeem this Big Mac,
But
which
you need
isn't.
to go back before next week so we can hear how it goes.
Yeah, I was tempted to go today, but I didn't make it over there.
I
And
had
then,
something.
yeah,
I'm
go
sorry. Go
ahead.
ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just say I had something quasi interesting happen to me over the holidays.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if I've mentioned my college girlfriend.
Hmm.
His name was Lacey. Great girl.
Hmm.
We broke up because I'm an idiot. Blah
Hmm.
blah 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 blah. And so she came to me. She was my date at a wedding, literally 30 years ago,
Hmm.
and I haven't seen her since 1995.
Hmm.
Literally,
Okay.
I'm gonna say literally a few more times.
Uh-huh.
So we're sitting around, whatever, and it's our buddy Will's house,
Hmm.
his parents' house. Uh, and somebody brings out a scrapbook of the wedding, flipping through, and there's me and Lacey.
Hmm.
And everybody starts talking about how great she was, whatever happened, blah blah blah. And I was like, I don't know, blah blah blah. You know. Of course, everybody boom pops on Facebook. Oh, she looks great. She's da da da, married, 2 kids, whatever. Guess who can't be friends with her on Facebook?
Did you try? Or they
I
they,
mean,
they were just saying they were saying don't do it?
no, they all find her in 2 seconds. Oh, but here she is. I'm like,
Hmm.
oh, I'll friend her, on
Right,
Facebook.
yeah, yeah.
Doesn't show up for me.
Hmm.
I'm blocked. Now I ask you,
Wow. That's
we broke
cold.
up.
And you
We
haven't
broke up.
seen her in 30 years.
Well, we broke up in 1995.
Right.
Facebook wasn't even invented
Right.
till what, 2007 or something?
Right.
And like, we haven't crossed paths, haven't
Wow.
tried to reconnect,
Yeah.
haven't at
Yeah.
all. And did it when she was signing up for Facebook 12 years after we broke up.
Yeah.
It's like the first thing she thought was,
Yeah.
what, I'm gonna block my college boyfriend. Is that possible?
It sounds like that's what happened, which
I mean,
just says like, wow,
how
she
shitty of a
she
boyfriend?
she's going on his social media and she wants to make sure
Yeah,
that you never make contact with her again.
like 12
That
years
is that
after
is
ever
cold.
speaking.
That is cold.
And like when we broke up, we broke up. There was no like
Right, yeah. No
going back or whatever. And like
no
I
drama, no
graduated,
crazy drama.
no, I graduated college, moved on, whatever. Uh, and I thought, oh, we'll reconnect, be friends, because I don't have a bad word to say about her. She's an
Uh-huh.
incredible girl.
Yeah.
She's fantastic. I don't
Mm,
know, beautiful. I'll say
mm,
it. She was beautiful.
mm.
I think I don't know why she was in love with me, but whatever. And blocked.
And everybody around you is friends
Everybody,
with her.
here she is. Doesn't she look great?
Their instant messaging, and they've kept up with her all for the last 30 years.
Everybody else, boom, she's up, boom. She looks. I can't believe she turns 50 on the 14th.
Mhm.
See, don't call me a shitty boyfriend, Mike. 30 years later, I still remember the birthday.
Yeah,
All
you're
right?
good. You're good with birthdays.
Yeah. And so I'm thinking maybe this is a sign that we should reconnect.
Yeah.
And blocked. What do you make of that? Can we get the Egg fans to swarm the internet?
I
And
mean,
say,
I know everybody in the comments section is going to say we're not getting a full story here. That there
I
there
think that's
must
the
be
full story. I
something
mean,
you blocked psychologically that would cause somebody to pre-block you before you even make contact after 30 years. Yeah.
I wasn't a great boyfriend, but I wasn't
Uh-huh.
I was the typical college boyfriend. I
Right.
was always out with the fellas. I never cheated on her. I never did anything bad. I kind of,
Uh-huh.
I kind of blew her off a lot to go hang out with the fellas. That's not great.
Were there
But
some stories circulating? I mean, you lived in the same town, right? A relatively small town.
I mean, we went to college together. She grew up in Richmond. She's from
Mhm.
Richmond.
Uh-huh. Oh, okay.
I don't know where she lives now.
Oh, okay.
I guess I can find out from anyone else on
No,
the internet.
that's a tough one, you know.
I mean,
I've reconnected with people I haven't been in touch with in a long time, and it's nice. It's like, you know,
yeah.
um,
I mean, she's the one
it's
who's
just
married.
like this
She's the one who,
person, you know, was in part of your life, and you know, you like that person for, you know, it's nice to just have a little contact. You know, it's not like you're gonna have
yeah,
daily conversations or anything, but
yeah.
it's
And it's not
nice to
like,
just say, hey, you know, I remember you. You know,
yeah.
it wasn't so bad, you know. I remember-
And I'm the loser. She has a husband. She has a
Mhm.
couple of kids. I'm sure she has a house with a white picket fence. Yada yada yada. You think she'd be like, "Oh, Greg, sure, whatever," you
Mhm.
know? But huh.
Oh, that's a tough one though.
Thanks for the clarity, Mike.
Pre-blocked. Pre-blocked.
I don't know. I mean, look, I don't know. Possible. I did something at some point. I can't
Mhm.
imagine it. I don't
Yeah.
remember it. Uh,
Mhm.
I don't think there was some
What about
drunk.
that wedding
Like, oh, let
itself?
me.
Was did you get was that the one where you were going down a hallway without your pants or something? Was that was
What?
wasn't there a story of you at a wedding reception that
Oh,
you were in rare form, let's say?
that, that was after her. That was a
Oh,
different one.
okay, all right.
No, 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 no. This wedding,
You were on your best behavior.
I was fine. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
I mean, I was 21. I'm sure I got rambunctious and we had fun.
Nothing
Uh,
extreme on the dance floor.
oh.
No, no.
So yeah, I don't know what I could possibly. I can't believe she even thought to remember me. I mean, we dated for two
Yeah,
years
right.
in college, and it's one of
Mhm.
those things where like, oh, we were in love, but then it's like we moved on. It's like, all right, I can't believe that she even, thought twice enough about me to do that.
Yeah.
So if anybody out there, any friends of Mike, have any answers,
I think that's just a stone cold mystery that you've got on your hands. If you can't think of some dramatic incident that may have caused this, uh, some story that might have gotten back to her.
I'm sure,
Yeah.
I'm sure she heard through the years. Oh, Greg's a fucking loser. All right. But
Well,
then why would you bother just all right,
mhm,
whatever, and ignore me
yeah.
like a ignore me like a normal woman.
Ignore me like a normal woman. Yeah. No, I'm with you on that one. Uh-huh. Anyway.
I think what I'm saying is I'm gonna go track her down and ask her to marry me. Anyway, so I don't know.
Some people are just touchy about old flames, right? These are old flames, and
Okay.
they want to not look back at the past. You know, they
So
want to.
she's turning 50 in 11 days. So I have 11 days to make this.
Did you
She's a
check the
great girl.
others?
So,
Did you check all the socials? What about Instagram? Isn't it tough to block on there?
of course I checked all the socials.
You're blocked on all of them?
She doesn't do a lot of the social stuff to begin
Yeah.
with. But
Okay.
she is on Facebook and has posted recently,
Uh-huh.
So I don't know.
That's a
If
tough one.
anybody wants to slide into Mike's DMs and give a little advice, that'd be
Well,
nice.
you can slide into anybody's DMs if you're following them on Instagram, right?
I don't know.
Aren't they a little more open?
You're the one getting all the fan mail. I don't know. I'm doing all the work with the fans, but you do the mail. So.
The fan mail.
How
Yeah.
much? Speaking of the bear suit, I have to pat myself on the back. How much did you love the video of me in the bear suit talking about a business meeting? I'm
Yeah.
gonna
I think
sleep.
yeah, that was high concept. You went high concept, and I, I was a little questioning that choice. I mean, it was you weren't in a meeting, you weren't in a conference room, you were in
But it's
somebody's living,
funny.
you were in somebody's living room.
Well, it was
So,
impromptu, Mike. It wasn't staged. I didn't have weeks to create
well, you
it.
had a whiteboard, right? Wasn't there a whiteboard or
That was a
something?
mantle.
A man on the
But the funny
mantle.
part was obviously I'm going to be hibernating. So I said, from October to March, I'm going to be asleep.
Uh-huh.
That's it.
Was Patrick there? My best buddy.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Here we go.
Was
There
Patrick
it is.
there?
Here it is.
Now,
No.
Patrick would have said, "Hey, why don't you before you go into the filming this and everything,
Yeah.
Why don't you check with Mike? You
Yeah.
know,
Why don't we check with Mike? Do the right thing, Uncle
check
Greg.
check with Mike. He's the funny guy on the show. see what see what he thinks about this. And
That was
I
my
would have
mistake.
said, yeah, it's too high concept. You know, stick with, maybe doing a funny dance. Maybe do Yogi the Bear. Stick with the classics.
I
Maybe
thought it was
Smokey the
brilliant.
Bear. Another famous bear.
I thought it was brilliant.
Yeah. Okay.
I love your. Oh, did you
How many
check with
likes
Mike?
did it get? How many likes?
I don't know, probably 2. I don't know.
I have to say, one of the most depressing moments is when I go on Facebook and you're posting stuff about Egg Foo What or this or that,
The boom, bada boom.
and I'm like, I'm the first like.
Yeah. Welcome to my world,
And
Mike.
sometimes, sometimes I'm the only like.
Yes.
I check back. I'm like, oh,
Oh,
I just caught it at the right time. He just posted, so it's
yeah.
only been up a second.
Yeah, that's what it is. Well,
So,
my social team thanks you.
but anyway, so I don't know if you saw it. I did sort of reach out to Ope. He wants to talk about the show Gomorrah. Are you familiar with that show?
Uh-uh.
I guess it was on HBO. I had seen a movie that came out in 2008, and then this series came out a few years later,
Uh-huh.
and he wants to talk to people about this show. And I
About
said,
Gamora?
Gomorrah, yeah.
He wants to come on here and talk about Gamora?
Well, I reached out to him. I said, if me and Greg watch the show, will you come on Egg Foo What? And his response is, check with his agent.
Okay.
I also
think
heard.
that's a no, but
I also heard from.
I got news for you, Mike. He doesn't have an agent. You idiot.
No, I understood. He was joking. He's just having some fun.
Is this a show you love? I'm sure I would hate it.
I've
but
never seen it. No, I've never seen the series. I saw the movie, and then I guess it's based on a book, and then they went back and made a series about it. It's about Italian organized crime.
Is that about that Village People song?
I don't know if it. I suspect it's in Italian, so there's there's going to be.
Oh, great! I watch dramas to begin with. Yeah, no. If he wants to come on, we'll talk about it. I'll watch.
I heard from JB Money.
Shut your mouth.
He sent me
what have you been doing, Michael?
He sent me an instant message. I said, man, how do we get you on Egg Foo What? We got to get you on, And he said maybe someday. He left the door open.
Man.
So I'm gonna
JB Money. Oh, Michael, you are making me happy.
Well, I'm trying to get some guests, in here.
Talk about a living legend.
Some of the
How
old
many guests
timers.
did we have last year? We didn't have many.
We had a few.
We had a bunch previous year.
Some shows, I think people like the back and forth. The guests, when we have guests on, it's great. It's nice. I'm not against guests,
Jockey
but
was great. That was fun having Jockey on.
Yeah. No, we're open to guests, but I mean, I think we.
I'm not complaining, Mike. Easy.
Once we get the blur going, and
yeah.
For everybody who this is a little behind the scenes for people who want sort of behind the scenes.
Oh boy.
When we finish a show, we generally like have a little powwow. How'd it go? How do you think it went? Mm-hmm. And basically we've come up with this expression, we call it the blur. When we just talk, it flows,
All of a sudden it's 8 o'clock.
So we call it the blur. And if we had a good blur, or Greg usually says, "Oh, I don't think I was that funny in this."
Oh, thanks, Mike.
Behind the scenes, people love it right now too. People love the behind the scenes stuff. So yeah, I'm just throwing some behind the scenes stuff out there for people.
Yeah, but, I mean, we're fine without guests, but yeah, talking about Gamora would be good.
Yeah,
and then JB Money, Mike, that would be a get.
Yeah, no. I want to get him on here. Just a couple food in the news items I saw. I don't know. What do you make of I'm always ragging on Gen Z. So
Yes, you are, Mike.
Well, my niece and nephew are Gen Z, so I can
Oh, you have Gen Z friends, so
I
it's okay.
have Gen
Gotcha.
Z, I
Okay,
have Gen
gotcha.
Z family.
Yeah.
Uh,
My nephew's Gen Z, so watch yourself.
have you seen this craziness with the Stanley mugs, the Quencher tumbler?
Is that what that video was of people grabbing cups
Yeah,
at
cups.
Walmart or something?
They're 40-ounce cups.
It looked like Black Friday, the TV section.
Yeah.
Is that you? That what you're talking about?
Yeah, yeah. It's a viral video.
What's so
People
great about it?
grabbing these cups. I think they're available at Target, or I think they're at Starbucks even too. They're cups with a straw cap on top. They have insulation. That's the big selling thing. They're insulated.
So do a ton of
Like a
cups.
thermos is like, I guess they've never heard of a thermos before.
Yeah, is it like super cheap? Is that what it is? Because it's tons of things.
$35 to $45.
I mean, the
Have
biggest
you
thing
ever
now is
paid?
Yeti. Everybody does the Yeti because they're so insulated,
Uh-huh.
but they're kind of pricey, I guess.
Have you ever paid
Uh,
$35 for a cup?
Cup of what?
Just a cup. That's what these cups are. They're just a
I
cup. You don't get anything in them. You're not getting coffee in them.
Yeah, even me, who is incredibly stupid with what little money I doubt I've ever spent $35 on a cup.
Yeah, yeah. I don't have a cup that I carry.
Yeah.
Some people you can't go anywhere without their coffee in the morning.
Well,
So
I like to have, like at work, I've got my water. It's a plastic cup with the plastic I use all the time, but it's
Uh-huh.
like $7. I didn't,
Uh-huh. When I was working at MetLife, I got all these free things.
Oh,
So those are my cups. I got Jets cups. I got some Giants cups.
I actually
Yeah.
have a nice one. When we went back to the office, my company gave us all, they're like this big, nice cups, the Yeti cups.
Yeah.
And they're really nice. I use it,
I got a couple
organizing.
coffee mugs when I was at MetLife.
But I would never buy one. I would never spend money on
Yeah.
like
No, I've never bought a cup.
But yeah,
I don't think.
I saw that video and I thought it was staged or something because I'm like,
Yeah.
who's, you know, you got me twisted, Mike Lesk.
The country is going off the rails. People are crazy for cups, I guess. But
And my girlfriend won't, let me be Facebook friends.
that is a shocker.
I'm not. It's fine. How pitiful is that? I'm not even like, let's get back together. We're in love. Let's have a life together. No, I'm just bitching because 30 years later, she won't let me on Facebook. So.
It's cold.
Sure.
It's cold. Like
Man.
She never put it behind her. She knew when she would go on social media, there was the potential. There was the potential that you might reach out to her again. And in order
back
to
of her head that I was out there lurking.
Well, yeah, she must have
Like
heard
Jaws.
you were still alive.
Like Jaws.
Let's make sure he never reaches out to me on social media. I'm gonna block him. Just give him a block. He hasn't done anything in 35 years, but let's just nip that
She
in.
blocked me like 20 years, 15 years
She
ago.
nipped it in the bud. She nipped it in the bud.
I think our
There was going to be no reunion. No reunion.
I think our loyal egg foo what friends are gonna get her.
Try and soften her up. That'd be nice.
Say, hey, look, come on, be nice to the big fella.
Yeah, Greg is a good guy. Yeah,
good guy. Come on, reach out. He's a good. And again, I don't have a bad word to say about her. She was an incredible girl.
Yeah.
If I'd met her later, well, then she wouldn't have given me the time of day. But
well, let's make this happen. This will be a goal.
Make
Do you
this
have any
happen in
goals?
24.
Do you have any goals for 2024?
Yeah, get my college girlfriend to friend me on Facebook.
Is that the only goal? That's a good goal, though. I mean,
yeah,
it'll be nice. You had a little bit of a past. Let's be friends. Let's be friends. There's nothing wrong with being friends. We're all adults now.
Yeah, I'm not looking to meet up.
Yeah.
I didn't have any resolution. I shouldn't say this out loud because I'll jinx it, but I am looking to make some music in 24.
Okay, that would be great.
I'm looking to go up north to record. Excited about.
Oh, you're gonna come up to Brooklyn?
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be nice. So
maybe I'll give you a call. Maybe not.
Well, yeah, I don't want to get in the way. Yeah,
You'll be there, Mike. Don't worry.
just be in the way.
No, no, you'll be
Couldn't
there
find some hand clapping for me to do. I could do some hand claps.
if I'm lucky.
Yeah.
So that's something I'm excited about. I'm hoping to do soon. So I didn't even think about resolutions. Usually I at least pretend, oh, I'm gonna do it, and then I immediately forget them. Did you have any or
Not really, but I started last week. I jump on this device behind me here.
a window?
That is
Treadmill?
the Nordic track, you know.
Nordic track. Oh, also from 30 years ago.
No, this was, my brother bought it. I never bought it, but
That's
it's
good.
yeah, I jump on there for a half hour and immediately feel better. I mean, exercise really does improve your mood. Me,
Does.
it does, you know.
Does.
But so I want to do that. I see Jerry's back to the gym or
I saw that. Yeah.
yeah. So maybe me and Jerry will be motivating each other.
Well,
Uh,
Jessica,
mhm.
uh, I mean, this is public, I think. She
Yeah.
posted it.
Oh,
She,
lost a lot of
she
weight. Yeah.
lost a lot of weight. That's
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I mean, we got some people to be inspired by. So
I mean, that's a cliche, the gyms, and I guess I mean I only went to a gym for a brief period when I was in Bayonne.
mhm,
Not really a gym guy. I would, I had a park near me. I would run. I was running for a
yeah.
while, then I'd walk, and I prefer doing that.
Well, sometimes the toughest part about the gym is getting there,
Yeah,
just showing up. So if
yeah.
you have that at your house, maybe that'll get you. That's enough.
I was going to this gym when I was out of work, and I was on my schedule was all out of whack. I was going there like in the middle of the night. It was crazy. I'd ride my bike down there rather
Yeah,
because parking in Bayonne is always insanity. So I ride my bike down there, and it's like midnight. There's
yeah.
nobody in the gym. That's the
Perfect.
one good thing about the midnight gym is that nobody's there.
I have a gym in my building and my office building, and I haven't set foot in them once. So I
Oh
am
wow.
definitely. I have
Yeah, there
no.
was a gym in that the Saatchi building when I was working there. I
When
used
you like
to.
to see that old equipment, dumbbells,
And they had like a little
kettlebells.
and it was it was on the top of the building, and
Oh,
and so you had access to the roof. There was like a little
all right.
path you could run around in a circle, and it wasn't that long. It wasn't even a quarter mile. It was just like a so, so that was a little. I think I tried doing that once, and I was like, yeah, this is too weird for me.
Yeah.
Running on the top of a roof is just get, get on a bicycle or a treadmill. It's.
But you've been doing the Nordic track every day?
Yeah, for about a week. Well, not every day. I'm doing it every other day to get started.
Yeah.
I did, I got on there for a half hour. I didn't die. So I'm
Oh, you
trying to
say?
stick to a half hour to get it started. Then I'm gonna try and do it every day. A half hour is not a lot of time when you think about it.
Not.
And the
So,
improvement in the mood is a big thing. I gotta.
yeah.
I still have a lot of stuff to do, and I've been in a funk for a while, but
Well, that should help. That's good.
I gotta motivate. I gotta get myself motivated.
Me too. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. Look
Anyway,
at us.
we
Optimizing, always growing, evolving.
I did get a fortune. Did you get a fortune?
Oh, I didn't even think of it, but no. I got like 9,000 catch-ups. First fortune of the year. Let's hear it.
Sometimes advice is what we ask for when we already know the answer.
Starting out with more dumb shit. Jeez.
Sometimes
Unquote.
advice is what we ask for when we already know the answer.
Mm,
Okay.
all right.
Nothing to say there.
Ew.
Uh, so
Well,
let's try and thank everybody for listening over the year. Hope everybody had a happy new year.
send in your comments, questions.
Comments are always I love the comments, even the weird ones. There were a couple weird ones on the last show. Keep them coming. I like a weird comment here and there.
Yeah,
Keeps me on
yeah,
my toes.
I like it.
Hit that
Thanks.
subscribe button. Hit the likes. I forget to hit that like button myself.
Oh, do you? Are we supposed
Yeah.
to?
Yeah, well, it's
Is
two
it weird
likes.
if we do it?
It's two likes we get out of the box, right?
What if I create a bunch of accounts and just keep
That's one way to do it. Yeah.
going?
Uh,
Yeah, thanks everybody for listening. Hope everybody had a great New Year holiday. 2024 is going to be our best yet, Mike.
it will be. Take care.
Is that it?